rocking yet? We rocking yet? We coming up? All right, we're here. Let me see if I can put your comments up on my captions. That's not it, right? Chat. Overlay. All right, we're in. We're in. What do we got? What's good? What's hood? Where are we at? Okay. That's where we're at now. Bing. Okay. We're all the way live. Happy Super Bowl Sunday. Brought to you by Mela. That's hella fire. All right. I know it's Super Bowl Sunday. People sign on, not sign on. I'm not a big football guy, but I am in a pool, so I got to check the scores. But all right, let's talk about soft baits before the game. You guys get back to the game. Did it early, I'm sure you've been seeing this around me posting these up. These are called the Dart. I've been working on this bait a long time. Fishing and not really working like it's undergone change after change over the past like 7 years. I'm not sure. I started working on it when I first started to come down here and fish with my friends in the saltwater. It's basically came to this. I had my computer guy Alex model it up. Now it's nice and symmetrical and the exact fatness I want it, a little fatter than a lot of them. And you could see the tail compared to the body is pretty small. It's not like a big shad tail. It's like blopping all around, twisting up. There's plenty of those. This kicks like a fish, like a fish that's shaped this way, right? And I prefer to fish soft baits shaped like this. Come out to Colorado. Like, yeah, all right. I prefer them shaped like this because even when they're shad in the lake, you're going to have shiners or, juvenile bass, stripers, lots of fish. This is just a universal shape, almost like a Senko, right? Like that minnow shape, that long, slender shape is just kind of like just a classic fish catching shape. And it's what I prefer to throw most of the time. Don't get me wrong. We'll talk about these after mine, but I got the battle shads right here, rigged and ready, all types, right? But this is my baby. We've been smacking stripers up north on this. And then when I come down, we'd fish this. I've had some guys down here throwing these for a while, and they're always catching. I'm finally able to put some molds together and get these out to you. So it's this one. And did I take it off? Oh, no. And the bob, right? So that's the bob. It's on a big old swing head. That's a 6/0 beast. I usually fish it on the 5/0 beast. I just had this on a swing head and I was fishing it deep. So I figured that big hook didn't really matter much. But that's the bob. It's a modified grub style swim bait. It's got a keel. It's not round. It has a keel down here. So when you rig it weedless with the 5/0, it swims great. I prefer to rig it on a regular jig head. I was just... I needed to fish this for the conditions I was fishing. So you're going to be seeing these a lot. These will retail, the bigger one, the 6.5 inch, the Dart. That's going to retail for $13 for two in the clamshell so they can stay unkinked, And then I'm not exactly sure on these, but these will be close to like $2.50 or $3 for a little bait. They're still hand poured by me. Dope design. You're not going to get anywhere else. Fort Collins right here. No. And so these are my guys, man. Like I've smacked a lot of big striper on this, tons of bass, calico, sand bass, spotties, everything. I've been catching on this, and then now that I'm here, I'm deciding, okay, I'm gonna start making these in mass quantities, as the coneheads would say. But so when I'm fishing this bait, right? This is my Dart. When I'm fishing this bait, I prefer to rig it on a 10/0 beast hook or a 10/0 BKK. You can rig it on an 8. A lot of guys have a thing where they like the hook to be like hidden. I've never, I know people have their things, but there's never been an issue with me getting bites on this. bait like this, right? So that's the 10-aught Titan, the BKK. I prefer to fish this. They eat the crap out of it like that. And, you know, the weight, the hook down there, they can see the whole line. The hook, get out of here. But if you really think the hook makes that much of a difference, do I have one rigged here? Let's see, dang, I should have been ready, huh, guys? I don't even have one rigged. I thought I did. So the guys that fish this bait, a lot of guys that have been throwing this bait throw it on the 8-aught, right? The 8-aught fits real tight to the body compared to this. You can put the 8, it comes out right here. I do pour them with a little channel on top, so it gives it room for the hook point to grab and stuff and push down. You're still going to get plenty of gap with the 8. I just prefer the 10. Either one works, you know, go crazy. 9-aught trocar. You can just use a 9-aught trocar and it slides right in the middle, right? But like I said, I kind of like this. If there's other hooks available, there's a Gamakatsu hook that's a little skinnier that goes back that you could rig. It's just a universal thing. I'll cut the head off of it like this. I'm not big on this aesthetics, but I just put one of my boys' jig heads on there. And then I love fishing soft baits on jig heads, right? So no matter what jig head I'm doing, I've been doing it forever. What up? Dave, congrats on the top 10. Dave and his boy just fished the SBS and smacked some fish. So congrats to those guys on their top 10. He's been throwing the original dart, you know, for a while now. He loves it. So jig head. I love to throw soft baits on jig head, especially like this style, right? Don't ever rule that out, because the thing about throwing these soft baits on a jig head, I don't know how many people watch it. I'm trying to give you guys some juice here, but you're going to get this secondary action. And if you watch the videos that I made of the bob, you can see that this thing's whacking back and forth. There was a comment that somebody said like, "Oh, it's almost too much action." Sure it is. They love that roll, right? People are weird about body roll for some reason, but some of the fish catchingest baits in history have plenty of body roll. And all right, so here's the real deal, right? I was having the discussion about baits with body roll, especially swim baits. When you're dealing with fish that eat trout, it's to me, it's always been very simple and basic. Like you can see it, right? Trout and trout eaters, these trout are swimming even keel, right? Even when they turn, they're staying vertically the same. It's just the way they roll. So most of the trout imitating swim baits stay vertical like this, right? 250 Huddleston. The 8-inch Huddleston had roll to it, the weedless that they came out with, and that was my best Huddleston. So I still don't abide by the whole no roll thing. But for trout eating baits, natural presentation of the trout doesn't roll. Now, when you're dealing with bait fish, shad, anchovies, minnows, shiners, silver sides, fucking, you know, stickleback, the list goes on, right? You could be right over a school, especially shad. And until they flash their side, until they do that off-axis turn, because they're so thin vertically, you don't really, you know, it'd be hard to catch them sometimes, especially because they're dark on the back. You know, they're made to be that way. But when they make that turn and they flash their side, it's very visible. So when fish are following this type of bait fish, you know, they can see way better than us. But once that shad that they're going to target deviates from the rest and flashes, it's a triggering response. That's why fish eat. Triggering mechanisms in your baits. Bite triggers. If the most realistic looking lure got all the bites, we know what'd be getting the bites, right? But we still catch giants on buzz baits and everything else. So you got to remember that when you're fishing the baits. Match the hatch, not just what it looks like. Matching what it looks like is very basic. You could match what a peanut butter jelly sandwich looks like, you know? But if you pick it up and it feels like plastic, you're not going to eat it. It's very simple logic. So anyways, get back to it. So when you're throwing a soft bait, with the weedless, you have a low keel. So you're going to get a more upright swim. Sometimes that's what the fish want. But never try not to forget that sometimes they want that secondary action, that roll. And a bait that does that great is the Bastrix Hollow Belly, the best swim bait created to date. But this is my version that does different things than that. And it's very proven. So you're going to be seeing a lot of these. Great price, very proven bait. Years and years of R&D and changes, like a fucking half a decade. In multiple fisheries, multiple species. Same with the bob. So when I fish the bob, we'll take it right off this. I use the 5/0 beast hook. 6/0's a little big. It wouldn't matter though. I mean, if I was going to fish it weightless, I might use the 6, you know. But I like the 5/0 beast hook. But what I really prefer is this Viking head right here. I like 3/4 ounce or an ounce all the time, wherever I'm at. 1/2 ounce works, I guess. Even in the Delta, I'd be throwing that 3/4, right? Because with baits like this, if I was throwing it high in the water column, I'm throwing it on the weedless. But this is my preferred method of fishing the bob, right? So it pops out. You're going to see I'm making some special edition swim jigs with these Viking heads to match my bob, and they're going to come in a combo pack at the PCS show. So you guys ready for the best swim jigs on the fucking market? It's going to be right here. I mean, sorry, I should be humble, but come on, man. I've been doing that since high school. So with this trailer on it and that skirt, it's like, I got to tell you, man, it's really hard to beat, right? So I fish it like this. Skirted jigs are cool, big, bulkier profile, especially for bluegills and stuff. Maybe we'll make some light ones for the Delta guys and the lake guys, like some 1/2 ounce, 3/8 ounce, bigger profile like this. Because I like this big hook, right? I want this hook sticking out. This is a slender bait. A fish can still get this. So like a 2-pound spotted bass could eat this, right? So this is probably my favorite all-around swim bait every day, all day. Tie it on, leave it on, catch every species. If you're a striper guy, do not forget about stuff like this, especially if on the Delta and guys tell you, oh, big fish only eat topwater and hard baits. Dumb. Big fish eat this. Big fish eat this. Also, big stripers eat battle shads on the Delta phenomenally. Smoke them. And citizens. So, yeah, that's not the way it works out there. Okay? No matter what some kook tells you. So, moving on from that kook talk. Those are my baits that you're going to be seeing, right? So these will be probably like 4 for 12. These are 2 for 13 because they come with the clamshell. I'm just charging an extra $1 for the clamshell, basically. Cool thing, though. I like clamshells because they keep them straight. But you're going to be seeing these multiple colors, saltwater, freshwater. If you guys have questions on how to rig them, actually I have a line-through version on the way of this. I prefer to fish line-throughs, real light up in the water column with a little treble. I also have an 8-inch version that you'll probably be seeing soon of this in a line-through. Also, maybe some weedless for the big salt boys or, wherever you want to throw 8-inch weedless. I know it's a basic shape, but a lot of times basic shape is what's necessary. So this is just an addition to other soft baits out there. A lot of great soft baits, but this is very well tested and different kick. It's not just throwing my hat in the ring to have a product that other people make too. That's not what I do. So hopefully you guys support moving forward. It's just me, So I gotta balance between hard baits and soft baits. You'll probably be seeing a lot more soft baits, especially this guy. We'll do a little short blurb before we do some other stuff on the Wade frogs. This is the big one. This is the one I fish. This is the one I prefer to fish for bass. 10-aught BKK, my favorite hook for it. my frogs come with a kit. It comes with this little stopper here to stop the hook from rising out, so you don't have to rebury it. And it also comes with that screw lock that I make to hold on to it. So when I'm throwing this frog, you can see this is just a hook, right? A lot of times I'll put lead tape right here because if it lands upside down, it'll flip over. But pretty easy deal to hook up. If you want to rig this frog a little easier, what you could do is put the screw eye in, leave the loop open, like open that loop up a lot so it's pried out, screw it in, open the loop, and then mark where your hook's going to go, put the hook through, and then just clip, you put the hook through the body and then twist the frog around and just clip it. It's already got the screw eye in it, and then you just clip it into the eye and cinch it down. I'll do a little like YouTube short showing that. But are what coming to the testers? Those are for sale. No, those are tested at, like the test team says, it's for prototypes. You guys are going to get a sample pack, but they're still going up for sale. Both. You'll get like one of the 6.5 inch and like a little 2 or 3 pack of the bobs for you guys to try out. But those are always, I've been throwing those for years and years. So don't really need much feedback on those. But so the frogs, classic. One of my favorite big fish baits. Look at this. I've been throwing this thing. I didn't even trim it up. How I'm throwing this, a lot of guys think you just reel it like a buzzbait on top. That's literally like, that's so basic of a way to throw a lure, this style lure. It's crazy. So when you get these, the big or the small, you can reel them on top. If you reel it only like a buzzbait, you'll get bites only when buzzbaits are getting bites, right? Twitch it, pop it, let it throw water, let it sink. All my fish near 10 or over 10 on this came when it's sinking. Or on the bottom. They'll suck it up off the bottom. I actually usually fish a fluorocarbon shock leader to this bait. The fluorocarbon shock leader to this bait comes like 3.5 feet or whatever it may be. And that gives them, even because I like to kill this in clear water and just let it hover down. And then when you twitch it, the legs just kick together and they just trigger on it. The other time is I had a little bit more weight, and when it's really windy, wind-blown stuff where you would throw spinner baits or stuff like this, you want to buzz this, and it's just, and they don't miss it then. They just absolutely crush it. I made these to fish on the Delta to bomb cast through toolies. So if you have heavy toolies, weeds, anything where the line gets hung up on the toolies, and then when you're trying to reel it in, right, like a regular frog, when you do that, the frog's light, so it pulls up over the toolies, and then you can't fish. This will stay in the water. You just have to shake your line, and it'll like pull the line down, and you can fish way back in cover, and this will stay in the water till they eat it, and then you got to get it out. But just fish braid. If you can fish 4-carrier, there's a new when you're doing that stuff, it's hard to get decent 4-carrier line. Everybody wants smooth braid, but if you want to chop shit, get chainsaw line, 4-carrier, Power Pro, or P-Line makes a great TCB 4-carrier. It's even better than Power Pro. But so I'm fishing this all ways, really. You know what I mean? Like I'll even punch it. But for the most part, I'm fishing it, buzzing it, stopping it, letting it fall, twitching it like a frog, buzzing it. When it gets to the edge of weeds, they don't eat it. I'm letting it sink. Just tracing the cover with it, just not only fishing it on top, because there's so many ways that it gets big bites. So that's my soft bait lineup. Run you through a few more like cool soft baits I've fished with great success. I don't know if Gail makes them, but these burritos, I think it's the taco or something. It's like a buzz bait on the surface, right? See the cool tail design? Shit is awesome. I smoked a lot on this. On the Delta, I was running it like a buzz bait, and I didn't really need it to be too weedless. So I would run that bottom hook there like that, and they would just come up and get it because it sinks real slow. The top hook, I really never got a lot on it, but I didn't cut it off either because it didn't hurt nothing. So cool silicone bait. This is my favorite burrito because it's like a cool buzz bait, unique thing. Gail's a killer bait maker. So buzz bait style, it's kind of like a Big Easy. If you guys throw the Big Easy, a lot of guys in Florida throw the Big Easy and reel it over the surface. You do the same thing with this, but it's a deeper body. It looks like a bluegill. I mean, killer bait. What I always tell people, and I'm being 100% honest when I say that I feel this is the greatest swim bait made in history, and you'd have a hard time proving it wrong. You could say the Huddleston, but I think that's only if you only count, trout places. If you count the whole nation, tournaments, giants caught in more than California on trout eaters, bing. This is what you're going to see. You're going to see tournaments won on this. You're going to see giants caught on this. You're going to see of all sizes. You're going to see smallmouth. You're going to see spotted bass. This is definitely the GOAT of the swim baits. And if you look at the history of it, it was cool because it was made, no hook for it. Then the beast hook came around, and this has like 3 actions. You get that roll, you get the middle body flexing, and you get the tail flex. It's just a very incredible bait. To be honest with you, I've thrown it on jig heads and there's trailers and stuff, but you just put it on a weighted beast hook and go to work. See, a lot of guys don't throw this bigger size for some reason. This shit is lights out, son. So I have all sizes. If you get the 5.5 inch or the 6 inch, the smaller one, I forget how they name them, but this is a 7. So the 6, I guess, the standard 6, or even the smaller one, but the standard 6 will get you umpteen bites, as many bites as you can imagine. If they're on bait fish, they usually will eat this, especially if they're looking up. I don't like to put them on jig heads only because it's a hollow belly and they rip off, but so I save them for when I need them. And when I need them, they are great. Striper, bass, everything. In the wintertime on the Delta, I put a heavy beast hook and literally drag it in the mud and they would still smoke it. So if you fish for fish that eat fish, you should throw bass tricks. All right, what's next? You can kind of see, you can see the influence on my bait right there. I'm not going to hide it. It's not a knockoff. It's a whole different body shape, whole different shimmy. But you can see this is the trophy profile that I prefer to throw. So, battle shad. I threw these a lot on the Delta. I really like to throw them for striper because for some reason people don't like to throw cool soft baits for striper, but they absolutely destroy them. Danny caught some good ones on the battle shad. The Citizen is crazy for striper, the 6 inch Citizen. The other stuff's kind of all the stuff I've showed you. I fish on my iRod Sniper or Quirkus. They both work, but usually the Genesis. So, and if you guys know me, I'm not real big on being too particular on line. Braid to fluorocarbon leader is amazing. You can get away with that. With soft baits, do it. It's that simple. Except for line throughs, what I don't have, I'll talk about at the end, but those you want, like, not so much braid. But battle shad, great to have. If all you can afford is the Citizen, or all you can get is the Citizen, that's fine. I feel like Citizen has a way better hookup ratio than this, but this has its place. Caught plenty of fish on it. The fish can't see it. It comes through cover real well. Toolies, it comes through real well. So these are a great bait. I actually like the big one. I lost the biggest striper I've ever hooked on the 9 inch due to my own fault, but the 9 inch is my favorite, but this is just one I grabbed. This is a crazy little bait right here. If you guys fish anywhere that has bluegills, for a very cheap price, you could get this wedge tail, which I don't even like wedge tails. For the most part, I've never seen a value for the way I fish, and I've never seen him out fish a paddle tail. I guess maybe in a lake when it's like 40 degrees and nothing's moving. But anyways, clear water, great bait. This is a great little bait. I've never caught a giant on it, but I've caught a lot of fish on it. A lot of times, actually, what you want to do with this bait is fish it on. You have a small treble. So you want to fish it on a lighter rod, and don't worry about setting the hook, because I call it bouncing off of it. What they do is smaller fish will hit this bait and move the bait, but they grab it various locations and they don't get the hook. When you feel the like dunk and your line jumps, then you go ahead and swing if you want. But I replaced that hook with something a little different, but the hook's all right. You just want to use a heavy hook because it's a trophy style bait. It's a bigger bluegill bait, but good little bait. I always keep one of these in my boat when I'm bass fishing because I'm a Delta guy, maybe. I don't know. This is a cool bait. Cool soft bait. I enjoy the Grow 255. I've been buying those from Japan since they were a lot of money and we weren't importing here. I was the first retailer, I think, in the United States to pop the new shit off, too. I don't know what happened to that, but bing bong. This is a little... I actually... They haven't caught any big fish on this, so just stays in the box. A little expensive to catch 3-pounders, but a lot of guys like them, I guess. If you're going to get a Grow, to me, get the 255. There's not another bait like it. Even the other soft glides, I don't even consider it a soft glide. The Grow 255 does everything. That it does everything plus stuff that nothing else does. So if you're going to spend the money, get the Grow 255, in my opinion. But this is a good bait. It'll catch you a lot of fish, a lot of little bluegill eaters, you know. What else? Oh, see, there you go. There's the original 9-inch. I still got the OGs, not the new head. I don't like the new head case harness, anyways. Bung bung bung. These are a cool bluegill alternative. You have a bluegill in your body of water, and you can get a hold of these little unique gills. Actually, these are cool. It's just like the little creeper trash fish gill. So I actually like the trash fish gill better than this one. It's softer and swims better. But these unique skip bites, you know, decent little bait. You see I have a box of them. You know, like some guys rig them on a 5-aught. Some guys rig them on a 6-aught. I don't think it really freaking matters. You know what I mean? But cool bait. I still have a lot of them because it's really small, you know, for me. But we'll put these on some Garibaldi eaters, I'm sure. If I can get this deep enough, put this motherfucker on a big ass jig head or something. But yeah, that's one of the boxes. It has its own box, so obviously it's pretty cool bait. You know, I'm just adding little creepers. It's usually got a lot of little creepers in there too. But let's see, anything else? I'm not gonna go over my old man rivers, but so that's kind of the gist of it. I showed you that swing head. If you're still around, this swing head setup is pretty cool setup. I only use it if I have to go weedless on my jig head because the little brush guard is for weeds, right? So when I'm fishing rocky and stuff or wood, anything like that, I want to go with more of a weedless setup with a hook. Because the brush guard is just kind of that. It's a brush guard. It's not a rock guard or, you know, stuff like that. It doesn't work the best in those situations. So I do like the swing head, but if I can get away with it, I'm throwing this, dude. I'm throwing this all day. This size, you know what I mean? Like everything eats this. I literally have an anchovy on the deck of my boat right now that's the same exact size as this, you know? So, and then I'm telling you, I don't know how many striper I caught on this thing. Either just slow winding it in the column where it's just thumping, or it's like thumping and then bong, 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 hitting the rocks on the bottom and then stabbed. So, cool. Bunch of stuff going out. I know I've been a little behind on some shipping and some customs and stuff, but everything's almost caught up. So if you've been waiting, you won't be waiting very much longer. I got some stuff put in the mail tomorrow. Would you consider upping the amount of testers on your team? Man, trust me, I wish I could, but it was 50 and we're full on 50. And when it comes around next year, we're probably going to add some more spots. But for now, we're all the way filled up, man. I got to stick to my word. All my stuff that I use is Viking head. Oh, thank you. The new website is amazing. If you guys haven't seen the new website, sign on, check it out. It's super dope. My lady Nicole West handled all that. She's a mastermind with all things digital marketing, life, whatever, you know. But back to this. This is the Viking head. So Viking head, jig head, Viking head, swing head. You could buy any swing head, right? But in general, I try to support my friends. I know that even with my brand, there's stuff that's available that's cheaper, but you know, the community is a community, so I try to spend my money within the community if I can, right? But regardless, any swing head will work. You can get other swing heads. It doesn't have to be this shape or anything. It's just another option, right? It's just another option. And when you get the fall, you get a little more pivoting. I don't think it catches more fish, so to speak. It's just better in certain situations. This is my deal. This is my go-to if I need a jig head bait. If I don't have to throw a weedless, if I'm fishing down in the column, if my line is at a down angle and not horizontal, I want a jig head. Straight up. It's not even like a question for a second, So my recommendation when not needing weedless, bing bong, straight jig heads. Get yourself some Bastrix, some working class zeros. If you need to get a Huddleston, get a Huddleston, I guess. What else? Burritos are great. There's lots of great soft baits out there. I just went over what I use. I pretty much use my rod for everything. The iRod Genesis for all my soft bait needs, even my frogs. The 9-inch battle shad. If you're going to throw the big battle shad, get a stiff rod, bro, because that's why I lost my big striper, because you have to use a 12-aught beast hook, and it was just too far away, and instead of winding into it and all the things I should have done, I didn't. And the rod not being stiff enough was probably one of the things, because it was a freaking mega, and it was just had a hard mouth probably. So if you're gonna throw that big one, make sure you have a stiff rod. But yeah, for standing timber, this would be a better option than the brush guard. So standing timber, you got a weedless jig and it's got that brush guard. It deflects a little bit, but if you pull a little bit, that hook's gonna bury. So in hard structure, like you're saying, standing timber, rock, even the kelp that I've been fishing recently. I'm no master, right? But I prefer this style instead of this. I'll just throw this through the lanes, and then if it snags up, I just rip that shit out, right? But this style is far more weedless than the brush guard. But what it does is it does take a lot of the twist out of the bait, right? So, which I don't really prefer. So it's like a happy medium. You have to decide what the fish are eating and see what they're doing. But yeah, if you're fishing timber, rocks, anything like that, this is definitely going to be a great option. And if you're savvy enough, you could switch the hook out or whatever you need on the back of this, like on the fly. I'm even putting like some hard swim baits behind this thing. So. All right. Well, Super Bowl Sunday. I hope you guys have a great Super Bowl. And if you gambled, you win. And if you didn't gamble, good for you. But yeah, happy Sunday. Thanks for stopping by. Next week, you're going to see a ton of stuff on the site. There's Chaos Glides, rainbows on the site right now, ready to go. These beautiful baits. Chaos baits that we made. We still have some of these in stock. These trout. I don't know next time I'm going to make these mini choo-choo glides because it's just me solo right now, and I got some other stuff on the block. So if you've thought about getting the mini choo-choo glide, these might be the last offering for a while, besides maybe some saltwater stuff. So guys, we still have cool stuff on the site, but you'll definitely see some posts in the next few days about the stuff we have stocked up and a whole bunch of new stuff coming out. So have a good Sunday. We're out of here.
to show us that one pair of boxes that one time. By the time they hit certain,
Oh, fuck.
the different boxes I can get my hand right now. So it's overwhelming. I don't want that.